Hi, this is Doug Bradley, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you are listening to Without Your Head. And you'd better keep listening to Without Your Head, or you will not only be without your head, you will be without your soul, because I will tear it apart.
All right, we are back. We're joined by Scott Goldberg. Welcome to Without Your Head.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, guys.
Ah, cool. How you doing? I'm
doing excellent. It's a cold night here in December. It's, most horror fans love that kind of stuff. Creepy, cold, and that happens to be, I guess, for horror films. So.
Right, definitely. Just let everybody know you can check out ScottGoldbergFilms.com, and you can watch some of your films on there.
Yes, correct. We have 3 short films on there right now, and there should be more coming within the next year for everyone to check it out. Yeah.
What's the newest one on there?
The newest one is Nightmare. It's a short film we shot back in May of this year, and before that it was All On for Christmas, and before that was The Day That Came Back. They're all short films. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more into those films as the show progresses. But, I always think it's very important to. I think it's new. A new thing to get all these films out here, because the internet is such a great way to expand and meet people and network that you can really reach out to people instead of sending DVDs.
Right.
It's so many people, and spending a lot of money doing it that way. It's very easy to just host it on a website and do that. If people want to buy a DVD, then they could buy it. But what I want to do is get like a whole compilation of the shorts and put it on the DVD, and that's when we're gonna be selling it. So.
Are you happy with the response you've gotten over your movies online?
Yeah, I put the films online, and one of the websites, YouTube, it's a pretty good website. They got bought out by this big giant. I forgot who bought them out, but man, I'm really
Google,
opposed to that kind of stuff with the big businesses taking over the business.
Yeah,
but,
I think John's right. I think it was Google.
Yeah,
what happened?
Yeah, I think Google bought them.
Yeah, Google. Yeah. And even MySpace, owned by Rupert Murdoch, I believe, from Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They have all these these big giants, taking over these companies, and that's what happens, when someone becomes big, just like remakes of today, There's always so you guys don't like those films as well, but yeah, no, the response has been very good, so I'm very happy, and I met a lot of great people. I met you guys online. I think the internet is a great way to get in touch with many people.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about YouTube being bought by Google. I actually think it was kids who started it, though. And they sold it for billions of dollars, so it was good for them anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's. I can understand people say that they're selling out, but it really depends, on if you need the money or not. Being a struggling filmmaker, you need money,
Right.
But, these guys that believe they basically did it in their basement, just became this whole big corporation. And,
yeah.
That's why they bought them out, because they knew that it could make a lot of money. So.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, if Google's checking out Without Your Head online, withoutyourhead.com, they got a few billion they want to.
There you go.
On The Day They Came Back, that is really good makeup for the zombies. Who did that?
John Farley is a special effects makeup artist out of New Jersey. His website's jontfarley.com, and I've worked with him on basically all my short films, and continuing to work with him. He's a big fan of the horror genre, and I think he deserves to be working on a lot of projects. And if I could pay him, if I could pay my crew, my cast, and my actors, I do it. But being an independent filmmaker and not really having a lot of money, you can't really do that. But if I could, all the people I worked with have been so great. So.
We got a caller here. Who is this?
Big Radish again.
Hey man, you got a question for Scott Goldberg?
Yes, I'd just like to know, what is your favorite zombie movie?
Oh well, actually, me and we have a horror roundtable over at deadfit.com. There's another horror talk radio show. I asked them around the whole horror roundtable. I asked them, what's your favorite zombie film? A lot of people said Dawn of the Dead. I'm not really so sure about that. Dawn of the Dead's a great film, but what I really love is Day of the Dead. I think it's the most realistic film. I think the confinement of all the characters. A lot of people say that Day of the Dead, like the acting, was kind of funky and overacted. I think, it had the most realistic zombies. The score by John Harrison, who also did Creepshow, which you guys were talking about earlier, he did the score to that, and I just think it's a great overall feeling for a film. I really like Day of the Dead best. What about you?
I'm one of the Dawn of the Dead guys, I have to say.
That's cool, man. I mean, I love them all just the same, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Day of the Dead,
Yeah, the original Dawn, I think I'd have to go with too. Either that or maybe Night of the Living Dead. I love that one.
Yeah, I think John's the Night.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead's my favorite.
Cool.
What's your reasoning for that one, John?
Basically because I think it's like probably the most realistic one where people would, you'd go to a farmhouse and then, try to barricade yourself in, It kind of seems kind of like a viable thing that people would do.
Right.
I really enjoyed that one too that you let me watch, the Italian one.
No, Zombie 2?
Zombie 2. I really enjoyed that one.
On the commentary track, Romero talks about Day of the Dead has become like a lot of people's favorite, but it was like rediscovered like years later because when it was originally put out, it wasn't a big hit.
I think a lot of people didn't like it because they thought it was going to be exactly like Dawn of the Dead. Maybe they thought it was going to be a continuation. Yes, but it's a good film. It's entertaining, I think. But I love them all, so. But if I had to pick, it'd be Day. But I guess it's because the first time I saw Day of the Dead was in 2002, and just remembering back like 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, it's got this nostalgic feeling. I think the music, the directing by Romero, and everything just comes together. And even in Dawn of the Dead as well, the original, not the remake.
Right.
I think the remake's a good action film. It's just, but that's all.
Yeah,
it is,
it's enjoyable.
basically.
Yeah, it's just it lost a lot of what made the original Dawn of the Dead so good. I thought.
Yeah.
It lost all like the like social parody basically.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Radish?
Me? Yeah, I was probably Dawn of the Dead too.
The original one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for calling, Reddish. Anybody else wants to call in? It's 508-644-8503. Now, speaking of zombies and cannibal movies, I've read that you're a raw vegan.
Correct.
Right. So I was wondering if those movies like even more scary to you since they're eating meat.
No,
I guess it's
no,
raw.
no.
It's raw meat though.
Yeah, no, not really. When you make art, sometimes you have to go to extreme limits and use actual stuff. For the day they came back, we actually had to use real sausages, and I was kind of against doing that. But you can't get past testing. You can't get these things they use in Day of the Dead. You can't get those types of things. So we had to do what we had to do. It was a low budget film, and that's what you have to do when you're low budget. But
you could use like tofu.
No, there was John Farley was actually talking about condoms and stage blood in that to make like intestines or something. I never tried that or anything. But
not even your own personal time. We got a caller here. Who is this?
Hey, this is Reverend Greg from the Erie Horror Film Festival.
Hey, Greg.
What's up, Scott Goldberg? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for the email invite.
Oh, no problem, man.
So this is a great show. This is great.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, and I just wanted to let Scott know that I really felt bad because he came up. He was a special guest at our fest this year, and I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I really thought that Scott's films are just absolutely incredible, and the feedback from the fans were great. And I think he's going to definitely go places with these films he has. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching some today, and I was really impressed how good the zombies look.
Oh, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But Scott knows what's left an indelible image in my mind.
Is it the Santa Claus?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Well, I was watching today, and John, he'll be right back, but he knows my sense of humor, and when he saw it, he's like, oh, I know what part you like the best.
I watched that scene, and I knew Scott Goldberg was on something like just pure gold right there. And thanks for scarring my mind, Scott.
Yeah, not a problem at all, man. That's what we're trying to do here, you know.
It's a great show you guys have, too. Seriously.
Well, thanks, man.
Definitely. So I just wanted to call and say, hey, Scott, and wish you a Merry Christmas and all.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
calling in, man.
No problem, guys. I'll be listening. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Someone else. I was just wondering in that one scene, what was she doing with the hand?
Yeah, you know, that was actually brought up from splattercast.com. They actually thought that she was using it, on herself, but she wasn't actually. No. See, that's the thing. That's great. What the hell is that?
Oh, sorry. We had a missed call, and I hit the call back. But if just call back wherever you were.
That's the great thing. Art films, you know, the audience gets to decide, you know, what they don't see off screen. They get to think for themselves. You know, and even in black and white, you try to think of what it would look like in color. That's why I think it's very important to do some films in black and white. No, she was just jumping up and down in joy, and Santa Cruz, the character, was just happy, so he was, you know, masturbating because she was happy, because, you know, he's a sick motherfucker, you know, he's like jerking off, you know, because he gave her like this dead corpse's hand.
Right.
So no, she wasn't doing anything with the corpse's hand.
Well, he did have a good side to him if he was getting pleasure from her pleasure.
Yeah, no, but you know, it was just. That was actually a super short film. That scene right there that we're talking about, that was supposed to be the whole film, but we decided to add some more sequences to it, because I felt that there needed to be more of a story to it. So.
Right. We actually have Mandy in here in the chat room. She's in some of your films, I guess.
Yes, Mandy Pacillo. She's in my film Nightmare. She's in Kimberly. You know, she has a role in The Forest Hills. Yeah, no, it's always good to work with people that are local and people who are aspiring, you know, in the industry, because she's very much into blood and all that stuff. Actually, Chris Garatano, one of my friends, he's a filmmaker from Long Island. He did the film Horror Business. He actually got me in touch with Mandy, and I needed someone for the film Nightmare, who wouldn't mind being, you know, drenched in blood and doesn't mind throwing up quote unquote brains and stuff like that and all these things. And she wanted to do it. And I was like, well, come on down, and she did a great job. So I'm very happy with Mandy and her work. You know.
She brought up Dire of the Dead, which is a new Romero movie he's making.
Yes. I believe Chris went to the set and shot some stuff for Diary of the Dead for his film Horror Business.
Yeah, you can check out like a clip of that, or like the making of on their website, on their MySpace.
Yeah, I've seen it, man. That's pretty cool.
We get another caller here. Who is this?
Chico Mendez. It's the guy who played Santa Cruz on Christmas.
Oh man, he's my hero.
Hey, Scott, how's everybody doing there?
Oh, doing good.
Good thing.
I'm just, I'm recreating your Santa Cruz scene right now.
Oh.
Not that exciting.
But, much contrary to what we thought, we had a lot of fans after that film came out.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
You know, I just, guys, I'm actually in a car in a driveway. I mean, not in a parkway. Why do we park in the driveway and why do we drive in the parkway?
There you go, man.
Right now, but I just wanted to call in and say hello to everyone and to thank all the fans out there for supporting Scott's work.
Okay, cool.
Definitely.
Much appreciated, man.
And basically, just keep it going, keep the momentum going, keep the independent horror industry going. I mean, that's what it's going to be all about. A lot more directors like Scott are going to come out. They're going to be more creative. As long as they get that support, they'll have an excuse to go out there and do that thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which in turn will give people like me an opportunity to just showcase what they got.
Yep.
You know, Scott calls me once in a while whenever he's working on a project. I'm always excited to hear about it. I'm always excited to develop it with him. And I'm always excited to hear what the fans think after we're done.
Yeah, man. I'm sure likewise, man. I mean, I really appreciate, you being a part of it, you know? And, I mean, Chico's one of those guys he'll just do anything. I mean, to an extent. But, he's he's a great guy to work with. That's why I worked with him on so many films, because he's been able to, well, that I know he could play him, so that's why I give him the roles, these crazy roles like Santa Cruz, or like a role like Enrique in The Day They Came Back. You know, because I knew that he can take these roles on after working with him only once during my last college project. So I appreciate it, Tico. We really appreciate it, man. And just keep on doing what you do, man. I know only good stuff's going to come from your end as well. So.
Hey, you know, the pleasure's always mine. I mean, come January or February, I should be out of therapy because of your project. So you got me ready for another one.
There you go, man.
I'm averaging at about, 32 sessions a year, and 2 of Scott's film per year, so. But in the end, they'll be out there, I'll be out here, Scott will be doing his thing, you know, you guys will be on the radio, kicking some butt, and everything will be good, and the fans will be hopefully enjoying our work.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, work out there, things done, and showcasing it among those people that are interested in seeing it.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much, Scott. I guess we'll talk a little bit later then, and, just goodbye to everybody, and thanks for your support.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay, all right, take it easy.
Someone here in our chat room, Johnny Deformed, he wants to know what your favorite horror movie of 2006 was.
Favorite horror movie 2006? Well, all right, that's pretty simple, actually. Actually, it's coming out on DVD March 13th. It's called Horror Business. I had the pleasure of seeing that in a couple of independent film festivals. Whoever is into horror films, whoever wants to be a filmmaker or aspires to be one, you have to check out the film. It's by Chris Garitano, and it's an excellent film. And it was shot. I don't even know how much it was shot on, but it's a documentary. About 18 minutes, and it's one of the best films I've seen in a long time. So that's from the independent scene. Mainstream, I don't really check out those films because most of them are remakes.
Right.
But
I did like The Feast, I have to say.
Oh, yeah, Feast was good.
Yeah, I've not seen it yet. I got to pick it up on DVD when it comes.
Yeah, it seems in their chat room here they're kind of going back and forth between The Feast and Descent.
Really?
I heard.
Yeah, I saw some of the Descent. I thought it was pretty good. So maybe about 40 minutes of it, but I didn't get to see the rest of it. So.
Do you have a question from the chat room, Intra? The message board?
Yeah. Gibbering Mouther, he wants to know, is there any novel that you'd like to do a movie on?
You know, I don't really read a lot of horror novels because I've been so busy with the past couple of years making films. But I'm, as a kid. It's not really a novel, but it's more of a short, bunch of stories, horror stories, I guess it'd be. R.L. Stine's Goosebumps. Being the kind of childhood I had at age 13, I watched that film. I watched, they came out with a couple of them on VHS. When I saw those a couple of years ago, it just reminded me of my childhood. So I think I can convey something like that, because when I was 13 or 12 or 14, I remember, how Halloween used to be and riding around on my bike, hanging out with my friends, and having that kind of nostalgia. So I think I'd be very good at those type of films, yeah. So, it's not a novel or anything, but it's a book series. So.
No, I think that would be perfect, though. That would be, really interesting if you ever did that.
Yeah, plus it's got an audience for it too.
Oh yeah.
If you ever got the chance to make a big budget film, would you want to redo one of the ones that you've done, or do you have something else in mind?
And this goes back to talking about Chris Garitano and how much he's been able to help me realize my full potential. I really wouldn't want to go back and redo any of my past films. What I do want to do is make films that can talk to people, such as real life events, things about war, about the government, about things like that, because I find it very interesting. I think there's a lot of things that news media doesn't tell us that would make great stories. Fiction, non-fiction. I mean, if you look into things like the RDIF ships, about ships that can be implanted into you, and they can track you down and watch your everyday move, and and things like that, or just even like the news we hear on the media, how fabricated it is, and how it's all about fear mongering and trying to scare you into supporting this war on quote-unquote terrorism. Things like that I think is very interesting. Drug abuse, missing children, so many things. I mean, real-life things that are going on. That's what I really want to tackle, with the, and that's why I think the new horror revolution is, I don't use the word revolution, but I guess the new bunch of horror films are going to be like, is like the real-life horror, and not zombie films or vampire films. Because basically, if you think about it, and I'm at fault for this as well, when you're making zombie films and vampire films, you're basically remaking, films. Let's come up with original stuff. Let's come up with some good stuff. Mm-hmm. That's where my head's at right now.
Kind of along those lines, but they used it's basically a zombie movie, but it was used to tell a political message. Was Masters of Horror: Homecoming? Did you see that?
I've not seen it yet. No.
Oh, okay. Well, you should check that out. I think you'd probably like that. It's basically it was very political. It was the president wishes that one of the people who died in Iraq would come back so they could say they were for the war, and they come back so they can vote to get the president out of office. It sounds strange, but you should check it out.
I mean, why do you think Romero's living in Canada? He doesn't. I don't think he really supports what's going on with these false wars and all these things that are going on in the United States. So, I mean, that's why Romero has all these things in his films. That he puts those undertones, the political undertones, into his films because that's how he feels. He just doesn't want to make a zombie film that doesn't mean anything. I think when we make horror films, we have to make things that mean something to people, that can make people think. Like Land of the Dead was about 9/11, and then you have consumerism for Dawn of the Dead, and about racism in Night of the Living Dead, and so on. So each era he actually put a political view in his films, and I think that's those are the themes that he used. Mm-hmm. I think it's always important that every horror film has a theme.
Yeah. I think you do that with any kind of genre, really. That's how good science fiction is. Like the original Star Trek, a lot of the episodes are really about different political statements.
Yeah, I think art in general. I mean, most of Bob Crumb's best stuff is like that.
You got the Forest Hills coming out. You want to tell everybody what that's about?
Yeah, sure. The Forest Hills is a movie that's set in Kentucky. By these two hard-beat writers, played by Gloria Sanders and Diana Sanders, two wonderful actresses here from New York. And it's basically about these two hard-beat writers who go to this certain area in Kentucky that's called the Forest Hills to document an urban legend of these two crazy outcasts living in the woods. And, we shot the film in August, and we just actually finished recently in December. But I've been, shooting a lot, editing, actually, as the whole film's been coming along. It's coming along very well, and right now it's in the sound design stages. And, if people want to check it out, they can check out the Internet Movie Database that has information, and MySpace has page information. My official website also has information as well. So, it's something. First, actually, this is what happens as you evolve as a filmmaker. You kind of want to make your film like other people's films, but as you evolve, I think you kind of learn to kind of make your own. So I think at first what I wanted to do back in May or April is I wanted to make the Forest Hills like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then as I felt that I was writing the script and rewriting it, that why? Why would I want to do such a thing? I really want to do something that was my own, that was original. And the Forest Hills isn't totally original. I mean, people come to a place and they get stalked. That's always in horror movies. But it was something I think I could put a spin on and make it interesting. So I had Texas Chainsaw, The Shining, those were influences, but I don't think you're really going to watch the film and say, oh, this reminds me of that. I think it's something that it's going to remind people of nothing. It's going to be original. So
you just kind of found your own voice with it then.
Exactly. I think it's very, very important for filmmakers to try to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, what did you think of the 8 films to die for concept?
The concept, or I didn't get a chance to see any of the films, but I thought it was interesting. Festivals and they always try to see how certain things work out. I think it was an interesting take on maybe trying to get people to come and check out these horror films that they had. But I really don't know too much about it. I know that Dark Spider, who is a good friend of mine, she actually was one of the finalists for Miss Horror Fest, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see she's on all my spaces.
Yeah, man. And actually, I did an interview with her recently as well, and very nice woman. She's they got this place that they film at in the city called the Blood Manor, and it's every October it's like a haunted house, and it's pretty creepy, man. If you guys are ever in the city and check out the Blood Manor, it's pretty cool.
You've won some awards at some film festivals.
Yes, correct.
Which is what is that? Does that make you proud? You know, when you win something like that, when someone votes you.
Well, you know, it feels good, but at the same time, when you win awards, and you like, what really comes out of the award except for winning, notoriety, I guess. You get some notoriety, and you kind of get a little thing going. But they're good to win them. Mm-hmm. But the main thing that you should focus on as a filmmaker isn't winning the awards. Send them out to film festivals, send your films out, and try to make some noise. The awards are just the icing on the cake, I feel. But it's not the main thing to focus on.
You like the feedback from the fans is more important to you?
Oh, well, without the fans, why would we be making films? Without being able to speak to people, why would we be making films? We wouldn't. Because I think that's what's so important. When you have people who admire your work and people who like your work and people who want to see you succeed and see more of your work, that's what kind of keeps you going,
we get another caller here. Who is this? Caller? Oh, the caller hung up on us. I'm not. I'd call back, but then you hear the ring. If you're out there, just call us back. Back to the 8 film to die for thing. If you were approached, would you want to be part of something like that?
Yeah, I'd actually have some scripts that I'm interested in, that I'm working on treatments for, and if they give me the freedom to make the type of film I wanted to and how I wanted to do it, only if it was a story that I felt that I need to get out there as a filmmaker and get out to the masses. As a filmmaker, I feel it's very important that we really need to focus on what makes us scared or what instills fear in us. And when we do that, when we get that type of energy and that type of idea and we put it all together, we can make something very scary and effective. Unlike the zombie films, which are done over and over and over and over again, vampire films, lesbian vampire films, all these films, all the time, man. They're redone and it's redundant as well. So I think if they give me freedom to make the type of film I want to, I definitely do it. That's what we're working for. When we have no money and you're trying to make a film and you're trying to further your career, I guess you could say, you need money. You need to get paid to do it. It's very tough to do it and spend hours and money, keep on doing it and not seeing anything for years. That's why a lot of independent filmmakers, they stop making films because they don't see anything. It's not going to happen overnight. That's what people have to understand. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years and years of countless work and editing where you feel like you want to fucking blow your brains out, if you edit yourself. And that's what it's like, man. It's tough. As a filmmaker, you're your worst critic. And that's the kind of things I'm feeling right now. I want to make films that speak to people. And like I said, a big influence was actually Chris Gaetano. If I hadn't met someone like Chris, if I hadn't met someone like John Brody, who's actually in horror business, he's a truth seeker, and he's featured in horror business. If I haven't met certain people, then I don't think that I would have think the way I do. Because there's certain people that you meet in your life that are going to change your life forever, And once you open your eyes to making better films, then I think you'll be better off, doing that.
Was there another question from the board, Incher? John?
One last one. Head Cheese, he just wants to know, is there any horror flicks that you would like to remake? And if so, how would you what type of spin would you put on it?
Just like the motto, it's always, if it's not fixed, I feel like I'm George Bush, so I can talk about that. If it's not broke, then I fix it.
Yeah.
You know? No, I'd rather just make films. If someone were to say, we're going to pay you $1 million to make a film, to remake a film, I don't know, it really depends. If it's like, if someone said, I want you to remake Carrie, right? I'd be like, no way, because it's a piece of artwork. It's wonderful. I cannot do that. If it was, let's say, like a film that was so bad and it's not really classic, and let's say Troll 2, for example. If someone asked me to remake Troll 2, and I do, no, not really, but I think it's
for a Troll 2 remake.
But no. I'd really think of it.
Yeah, I actually think Roger Ebert's always said that. He said instead of remaking good movies, they should remake bad movies, because then you could, fix it up. But we got another caller here. Who is this? Right. I think this is the same caller who hung up on us last time. Are you there this time?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
All right. No problem. Oh, it's Mandy.
What's up, Mandy? How you doing?
What's up, Scott?
What's up?
You got a question for Scott?
Of course.
All right. Well, yeah, ask you. Or do you got a question for us? I don't know.
Well, I just want to say congratulations to Scott. You're a good filmmaker, and I look forward to working with you more. And it's always a lot of fun. You always have a lot of fun with that.
I appreciate it. See, and Mandy's one of those actresses who really likes to get into it. You need more people like Mandy because she doesn't mind getting, drenched in blood. So if you guys are making a film and you, need someone, just drench the blood on her. You can put appliances on her, whatever you need to do, and she'll do it. So, and I think it's very important to work with people like that.
This is just if you're making a movie, right?
Oh, damn, that does me in.
She's in our chat room right now as well. Zombie doll.
I go have to say hello to everyone once we're off the phone. I can't do that. I can't do two things at once,
Yeah.
But
yeah. Whenever I go quiet here, I'm trying to read the chat room. So you got anything else?
No. All
right. Well, thanks for calling in.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mandy.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
Bye. Everybody else, check out myspace.com/United We Sleep.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about that one?
Yeah, United We Sleep is a film that there's a funny story behind it. Chris Gaetano had told me about a film that he wanted to do called Timber Lane, and at the time, I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And this was probably a couple of months ago. I was like, oh, cool, man. So he told me about it. I was like, okay, so time passed by, and I'm like, I want to make a film. I want to make something that concerns the government and concerns something that's something that I think is interesting. So I wrote a couple pages of the script, and I sent it to a couple people. I'm like, what do you guys think? And I sent it to Chris. He's like, dude, this is my movie. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, this is my movie, dude. You're doing my movie. This is exactly what I told you. And I think subconsciously I might have written it, and that's the thing, and so I changed it. I changed the whole thing around, and it's basically about a father and a daughter and their son, and the virus plagues Long Island. The government, the news media actually says that it was by terrorist activity. But as the film progresses, and as people start dying, and people in the family, they start dying, people that are close to them, they're trying to seek refuge and figure out what's really going on. And so they listen to the radio, and basically something just doesn't seem right to the father. And throughout the whole short film, you're just wondering what's going on. And then I'm not going to really get into it, but let's just say that he was right about his thoughts, and it wasn't caused by terrorists. It was caused by the own government. Mm-hmm. So it's something that was something that I kind of wanted to write about, and even like other films, like something like about like RDIF chips, you know, where they want to implant into the skin to track people. I want to make films like that because I think people don't know about these types of things. You know, I think it's very important to get the word out about these types of things that can happen and will happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get enough people aware, I think people will be like, no, we're not going to let you do that to us. You know, so United We Sleep is basically a film about fear-mongering through the news media. Because that's what happens nowadays. You know, you watch the news, and all we're talking about is war on terrorism, war on this, war on that, stay the course. You know, like George Bush recently, he said, we're going to stay the course. You know, and then like, you know, he said that like maybe like 30 times within like the last 3 years. Right. And now like you just hear him on the news, and he was just like, we never say we're staying the course. I'm like, what? like the government lies, man. You know, it's the most ridiculous thing, man. So I want to make films about that and make films that I find interesting. And I think that's more important than any zombie films because those have been like remade so many times by different filmmakers. So.
Would you want to do it like a straightforward movie, or would you want to do it in the premise of like a zombie movie?
In what sense? The Night We Sleep?
I mean, when you talk about doing a movie about about different things the government does, would you want to just do a movie just about that, or would you make like a horror movie where there is a political message inside the movie? Maybe not just you know, straightforward movie about the government.
I think there's so many types of different themes that you can use for a film, and so many different ways that you go about it. It really depends on what I'm feeling at the time, and as I'm making the film, what kind of message I want to express or convey. I think when you have, let's say, when you're making a film and you want to put it straightforward out there, it really depends on the story and how you're feeling at the time. So it really depends. Like right now, for United We Sleep, it's basically where I want to wake everyone up, all the people that are asleep. You know, I want to wake people up and say, yo, listen, maybe what we're hearing on the news isn't really news. Maybe it's not the truth. Maybe it's just fabricated. Maybe people are just lying to us because they want to keep us scared. You know, that's scary. You know, like the government, you know, doing these things, implanting these chips into people, and people this is happening right now, but this all under the radar. You know, to certain people, you know, the main thing, like, and you know, after United We Sleep, I wanted to make a short film about the chips and how, you know, they're just implanted into people. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the government says, you know, you got to get these chips implanted into you, and I said, you can't buy food, you can't go shopping, you can't get a job, and that's how they're gonna. That's what I feel is gonna happen by 2026. Is they're gonna. You know, I'm really into this kind of stuff, so I feel that can happen, and
well, the reason why they say it is like if your kid is abducted or something, they can find them. But do you think that's just like an excuse for everyone to get them?
Of course. Yep. I do quite honestly, and but no, I think if they were going to do something like that, at least, and they are doing this, wristwatches. Things like that, you know, put it in like wristwatches. It's not in someone's skin.
Like that.
Right. They should do it. Right. They should do it with, I believe in California, if you get a dog or an animal from like a shelter, they all have that. And I know it's different than an animal, but, you know, if they do it with animals, they can do it with people.
Yeah.
Well, it all kind of links in with the whole fear-mongering thing. Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about around Halloween time, where like, they have all the children so freaked out, you know, and the parents about, you know, don't let your kid go, you know, outside your block or he'll be abducted, you know, within a minute.
Yeah, or the candy, and I think I've
everything around.
Yeah, and I've always read that, like, you know, like the candy or the, like a razor blade and apple. I don't think there's ever been an incident where that's happened. I think the only time any kid's been poisoned, it was like from their own relatives. But no one's actually like gone out and got like a poisoned or like a razor blade in an apple like when they were trick or treating.
Right.
Yeah. I also think a great film that They Live was actually John Carpenter. I can think about that, man. Like they want you to stay asleep. It's always you just got to open our eyes. Like I think the sunglasses in that film, a guy finally opening up his eyes and seeing that everything was as it said. As it was, because you know they want you to. People like They want us to be zombies and watch the TV and be stupid. Why? Like, I don't want to fucking be like that. I'm not going to be like that. And I don't think you guys should. I don't think anyone should. We need to make a difference, and this is the way. Support these types of films and to make these types of films as filmmakers.
I was going to say, we wish Roddy Piper well, the star of They Live. Well, they just announced he just came out, he's got some kind of cancer.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I think that's such an underrated movie. I love that movie.
That's a great movie, man.
Yeah, I think that's just been recently put out on DVD in the last few years, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if there's any special things on there or anything.
Yeah. And even like, with like, I mean, there's a lot of discussion, like, like John Carpenter being a producer on the Fog remake. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Romero still has a little left in him. I just think that Wes Craven, I don't know. I just feel like Wes Craven, John Carpenter. I don't really want to name names, but I think it's time for the new blood to come in. I think they had their time. What they're doing now is they're becoming producers on films to cash back in. And I can understand that Romero's making Dawn of the Dead because he got fucked out of getting the money for Night of the Living Dead because they stole that from him. Day of the Dead, they stole that from him. So I don't know. I can understand it, but for people who don't really necessarily, I feel, need to be here, I think have lost their kind of their step in in filmmaking. I think I don't know, man. I think it's up for new people to come out.
What do you think about that? Like the original Night of the Living Dead, he doesn't own the rights to that, and people can just take it and pretty much do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't even know that. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's like they put out the DVD. It's like they added some stuff to it, like new scenes to it, and they changed the music, and you just pretty much do whatever you want with it. No, I don't think so.
Wow.
It's just to me, even if you can do that, I mean, I don't know if you're like a fan of his stuff. I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
What movie made you want to make movies?
I mean, I've always been into films like Friday the 13th because I was born in the 80s, 1982, and I grew up with Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. So I think a lot of the slasher films got me into it, and in 1999 I wanted to make my first feature, and I tried to do it, but that fell through. And like in the Chris Garrett's House Horror, just never cast your friends as roles. they're not reliable, they're not professional. And so in 2003 I did a feature length that unfortunately never got finished called Dead End Massacre. And that was very much a Halloween. I think Halloween got me into horror films and wanted to make films. Yeah.
That's a good one to grab onto, I think.
Of course.
You got any place we can see you upcoming? Like any film festivals or anything?
Probably within the next year. I'll update on my MySpace or my official website. That nothing recently. I mean, I'm just focusing. I'm not a big enough name, and I probably won't be for a while to get all these convention appearances, and people inviting me.
Right. Well, just tell them you were on Without Your Head.
There you go, man. But
that'll get attention.
I think by fall I'm gonna have a couple of appearances. I like to appear at festivals because I know that I have a lot of people all over the United States that really do appreciate the films, and maybe Texas Nightmare Weekend, something like that, or Fangoria or Fight Night Film Festival. There's so many, but I'll have it all updated on my website as soon as I get confirmations with people. So.
Right, and that's ScottGoldbergFilms.com.
Correct, or MySpace.com/Scott Goldberg as well.
Right, and then there's also MySpace.com Scott Goldberg Film.
Yes, correct. That is. I just recently put up an online journal to help independent, and there's actually Scott Goldberg Films and Scott Goldberg Film. The film one is my journal, and the Scott Goldberg Films one is is the day that came back. I think it's very important, so that's why I put the journal online to kind of give the aspiring filmmakers a chance to, read up on what the experiences were like and what they can expect. when they're going into film. You know, it's very important. And actually, I started a radio show that's on hold right now. I'm going to start it again soon, called Apocalypse Radio, where we talk about the government and war and the kind of films and things like that. So, you know, I guess people could look for that as well. That's on MySpace as well. So it's
You're all over the place, basically.
I think you know, but it's important to get the word out, but it's also important not to over promote, you know, and because people get sick of it, I think.
Sure, it's kind of
at a certain point. You know, but you learn.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell everybody out there before I let you go?
I just appreciate the support, and I thank you guys for having me on the radio show, and thank you guys, and thanks to everyone out there. You know, it means a lot. So.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Definitely, you guys really appreciate it.
This is Stephen Razor. As you know, I hate human beings, and you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.